All right, let's get into this video, everybody. I feel like it's weird. I guess my nose is still kind of cold, so I got the sniffles a little bit. But yeah, I need to get a haircut too. Hiding this wig underneath my hat. But yeah, I wanted to get into a video on kind of an expansion on contingency. But it's kind of one of those. So basically, last night I was listening to Dale Carnegie, and one of his things is it's basically it's a stop loss, is what he calls it. And so I'll kind of explain this stop loss as well as I can. But if you want to look it up, I could put a link of that Andrew Carnegie Stop Worrying on this video. I'll put a link in the description so you guys can, listen to the whole book. And then a lot of the stuff that I say will actually make sense because I use a lot of Andrew Carnegie or Dale Carnegie for references. But anyways, and I just learned about this, but it's really cool. Basically, he goes into this thing talking about, a stop loss. And so pretty much he puts a stop loss on his stocks. So basically, if the second they go any more than 5% down, they just get sold off immediately. As he's growing up, he realizes that he could just use this metaphor for other aspects of his life. And the other types of aspects that he wants to use them for are things like, well, he has a brother or a friend, I can't remember, that always shows up late. And so finally one day he builds up the nerve and he just tells the guy that, look, every time I come see you, you show up late. So from now on, if you're 10 minutes late, I'm not going to be here. I'm just going to be gone. So he's putting a stop loss. Now, one that I like to do, which is kind of like a stop loss, and I'm not that good at it, but I have been trying to practice at it, and I'm going to continue to practice at it because it's basically, if you know someone's not paying attention to you, don't keep talking. If you literally know that they're not paying attention to you, just stop talking. Because this is the thing, if you continue talking, really all you're looking for is validation because they're not paying attention. But the second you stop talking, they'll do one of two things. Number one, they just won't even acknowledge it, and it'll be like it never happened. Fine. Didn't happen for you either because literally you just stopped and just didn't explain the rest. Or they'll ask you, why did you stop talking? Or they'll say, or they'll notice, and they'll be smart. Like my sister would notice. She'd be like, I was paying attention. Continue. Go ahead. I'm listening. So, but what's happening is that you're literally forcing them to listen, or you just won't say anything. And the thing is why would you talk if they're not going to listen anyways? There's no point in talking to someone who's not listening. Now, the sad part is that I find myself talking and people not listening, but I continue talking. And it's not that I don't have anything good to say. It's that, well, there's also other aspects for me. I have ADHD and I talk a lot, and I my friend Ricky says I talk his head off. And so that is one of my things. I have a compulsive, basically disorder. I don't know if I have a compulsive disorder. I'm diagnosing myself, but I may have a compulsive disorder that basically doesn't allow me to shut up. And you know what? This is why I took to YouTube, because it literally is allowing me to just kind of vent and rant and rave and just say whatever I want. And you know what? I'm still kind of weirded out by them taking down my Joe Biden Trump pull. That was really, really weird, because I'm such a small YouTube channel and I'm not really causing that much influence. So like, who's really causing the influence? Because it certainly ain't me. Man. But anyways, I know I'm jumping from subject to subject. It's just the way my head works sometimes. But yeah. So I'm talking about this stop loss thing. So you could actually use the stop loss thing in all types of aspects. Like, when I explain the stock market, people, wanting to take your time, or people that aren't listening. Now, you know what? You can do it with work. If, basically, you say, okay, I'll stay at this job. And, I'll stay at this job as long as they do this. But the second they start doing that, I'm out of here. So, I don't know, maybe at your job they allow you to have cigarette breaks. But all of a sudden they say, oh, well, you can't have cigarette breaks at work anymore. We don't have any smoking on the property, and the property's so big you can't get all the way off to have a cigarette break and get back. So you're just going to have to not have cigarette breaks. Okay, well, I'll put in my stop loss. I'll just quit. And there's nothing wrong with this stop loss thing. I think it's actually a smart idea, because if you stop the bleeding before it gets too out of hand, it's great. It's like, a broken faucet. If you turn it off at the main valve before it starts spilling out a bunch of water, then you won't lose a bunch of water. And so pretty much that water is a metaphor for your time, or for your appreciation, or whatever it is. Me and my sister were having a conversation about codependency. And I definitely have some codependency tendencies. One of them is I really do feel the need to be there for people, even if they're not there for me. But you know what? Some of these things that are, signs of codependency are actually good. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that you need to understand yourself. And so you might have, some of these things too. Another one is that, I feel really weird when people do nice things for me out of the blue. I have no problem asking people for help. And the reason why I have no problem asking people for help is because I know if I don't ask for help, then the answer is definitely going to be a no. There's an old saying in Warzone: every knife you don't throw is one you don't hit. And so basically in this game, if you throw your knife across the map, sometimes it'll hit an opponent and you'll get a kill. Well, if you never throw that knife across the map, you're going to get a kill. Same thing for Lotto. If you don't play, you can't win. So, kind of getting into that or whatever. But I think I might have some other, codependency things that I'm just not settling with yet. That's rattling around in my head. So I definitely want to probably talk a little bit more about codependency, because I'm learning about it myself a little bit better. But pretty much I definitely have some of those traits. So today is the most beautiful day you could possibly imagine. I'm on the 205 freeway and I'm headed out to that siding job, the one that I showed you guys yesterday. I pretty much got it all done yesterday except for one side. So I'm hoping, actually I'm not hoping, I'm gonna finish that side today, and then I'm gonna send it off and full send it because I gotta get this done. And then after that, I think what I'm gonna go home and do is I'm gonna try to set myself down on my video game, and maybe what I'll do is I'll go through my clips first so that I can see if I can get some content up through my clips. I don't know if you guys know, but I have a video game channel, so if you guys want to check that, it's pretty much it's the same thing. It's Gregory's Odd World Gaming, so it's pretty much the same thing. It's just gaming. And you know what, in all reality, that channel is growing faster than this channel, and I know why. Is because people are more interested in watching people play video games and doing things that don't benefit them than things that do benefit them. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that this channel is going to benefit anyone. Perhaps this channel only benefits me. I don't know. But I got 74 subscribers and I'm getting some views, so it must be benefiting someone besides me. With that being said, it's really hard to do the right thing at the right time. That means to basically make the right move at the right time. It's easy to make the wrong move at the right time. Like, you know what? I owe rent, but I'm gonna buy food instead. And even though I have top ramen to eat and I could live on the top ramen, or even better, I am going to buy food instead of paying rent, even though I know that I could just not eat for a little bit and find a job so that I go buy myself some food. So there's that too. I'm at this red light, so that's why my head's all tilted here. But yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that it's important also to burn your bridges sometimes, because if you burn your bridges, then you know where you're at. Like, remember I was talking about pushing the E all the way to the end until you run out of gas, so you know how far you can go before you run out of gas. And so I think that that's actually a good thing. And Tony Robbins always talks about that. Man, he's the best. But burning your bridges, I guess not always, but I've heard him talk about it. Burning your bridges. So right now, I'm going to have just enough money to probably pay my rent and, maybe catch up on a couple things, thanks to Wood Village City Hall. Love you, Becky. They helped me with utility assistance, so I don't have to pay the power bill now, but that means that what I need to do is that I need to use that money that I saved to maybe pay back some of my friends, because I owe, quite a bit of money back to some of my friends that I've been borrowing as I've been going through this time of need. But they know that I'm good for it, and they know that I'm going to, pay him back, especially my buddy JC. So here's what's going on with JC. JC's getting ready to go in to do some surgery on his arm or his shoulder and get an MRI. Actually today, he's supposed to be calling me today. He's going to get an MRI on his neck and his shoulder today because they want to see what's going on. He can't lift his arm again. And he's basically prepared to give me all 16 of his accounts. Basically, he runs a landscaping company, and he has about 16 accounts, but he's not able to do them because he's just not able. And so they're basically getting ready to find new people to do his work for him. And so I need to get in there, and I need to start taking care of his landscaping so that, A, he can keep it, and when he's better, then he can get back to work. Or B, I could take it over and help him grow it, and then he can basically manage it, from afar. But yeah, that's some other stuff that we'll probably get into some JC segments, because he likes to do the landscaping stuff. But we're here at the shed, the shed sighting. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off this, and we'll see you guys in the next video. And there's my shed. There's my lovely friend. And so that's that. Like, subscribe, share, and hit the ring or the bell notification for the next video. And more importantly, add more value to the people you come across than they can ever add to you. Or at least inspire to add more value to the people you come across than they could ever add to you. This is Gregory's Odd World, signing out.